Now the matter of Ramu has, for the present, been put to rest. There is something I would show you, Lyoki. Uh-huh. It is a letter of thanks, signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions, in particular, the names of all the defeated primals, Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mugamog XII, Leviathan, and now Ramu. Needless to say, there's only one among our number to have faced them all. And although these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel they were meant for you above all others. I, too, must offer my heartfelt thanks for all you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Lyoki, and Eorzea is that much the safer for your presence. Pray, do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in the realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. That is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the sylphs of Little Solish, who wish not of conflict. Of Alice, who strives to unearth the terrible secrets of the calamity. And then there is Sid, and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of ancient Alag that we might be spared the horror of another Ultima weapon. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, Antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alfie! Alfino, I take it the troubles in Oda no longer require your attention. There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. I have a message for you from you recall the refugee girl? The one whose parents went missing. They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Alfino, am I to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. We're standing in hide order! Yay! That's really funny. Lyoki, you have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yuzan was his name? I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him in a visit? Uh-huh. Alright, let's go visit. Yuzan. Oh, yep, Pele's back. Luna's back. Luna's always like sitting right behind the chair. Getting the best seat in the house. seeing all the magic happen. Hey, it's Mr. Lyoki. He's back from his adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals, and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Mr. Lyoki? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion, then? Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coultonet, did you know that Mr. Lyoki is back? Aye. So it would seem. Welcome home, Lyoki. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions. I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coultonet. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the art of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, we're not younglings anymore. We are adventurers. And we were just asking Mr. Lyoki if he could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Lyoki? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will? Hoary, if I didn't know better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Well, mayhaps I am. But what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Lyoki? Would you consent to spar with me? Uh-huh. Hurrah! We're gonna have a tournament! Come on, everyone, we must prepare our gear for an outing! Do try not to disappoint them. Have faith, Coultonet. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make of this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. Okay. How do I get out of here? Pele is back into ball position. She's so cute when she's sleeping. Luna's not quite asleep yet, but she's getting there. Alright. It was good of you to agree to this, Lyoki. I trust you are ready to begin. What job are we? We're ninja. Oh. Why did that show up? That wasn't supposed to show up. Whatever. Is this dungeon crawler PvE? Okay, sorry. I'll have to look at that later. Anyway, switch to go to samurai. Okay. Let's begin Guardian of Eorzea. Very well. Let's not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Ahem, Hoary. Are you certain you wish to fight him alone? That is Lyoki you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray, allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Leoki to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Wow, everybody's showing up. Ada? What? Who are all these people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there's still more to come. When I mentioned Leoki's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, bringer of light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard. Alright. Wow, we got a whole crowd. Day and night I've honed my skills. Now comes the time to test them. Oh. Ugh, such power. Tails barely do you justice. Mr. Boulder won't lose, will he? It's not over yet. It can't be. Hi, the children have the right of it. It's time I join the fray. On your feet, Hori. Sorry. 2v1. Must admit defeat. It was an honor and a privilege. Oh no, he looks hurt. Mr. Leoki is so strong. You can't give up, Mr. Boulder. Can't disappoint the younglings. Never had to face the strength. The lesson must continue. It's your example I follow. Surrender not to the implacable foe. Well, he tried. Lasted decent amount of time. You have bested me. I yield. That was incredible! You beat them both at the same time! We knew you couldn't lose, Leoki. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I've much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. Woohoo! Impressive as always, Leoki. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? It was at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartano. At the time I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius in the order he proposed to enforce. The Legatus's single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. "'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me through countless acts of bravery that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feeling into words, I believe grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid in Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I, too, will endeavor to take up the mantle of guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are a scale that cannot be solved by the scions of the Seventh Dawn alone." Yay, Alfie! Wait, which building are you talking about? I don't... No. What is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascian? I don't think there are any buildings around. We're supposed to be out in the wilderness. Could be wrong. I'll keep an eye out. Sorry. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. Yeah, that would explain it. These are all just giant chunks from the moon that fell. This thing? Is this what you're talking about? Yeah, this is around where Dalamud came crashing down and Bahamut emerged. So these are just giant artificial moon chunks. Yeah, I can see, I mean, yeah, it's definitely metal. I can see how that could look like a roof. But yeah, this is just part of the moon, along with everything else here. Actually, these are kind of building shaped, but yeah, I think they're still just supposed to be parts of Dalamud. Because this is the main area where the battle and the crash happened. And so, like, all this orange ether is, like, his essence. Yeah, otherwise, yeah, you would definitely be right. That is some crazy architecture. Also, I forgot you fell asleep at the end. I wanted to rewatch the ending cutscene, if that's okay. I don't know if it's super critical, but it also was nothing major happened, but it was definitely kind of a slightly more important one. Actually, the quickest way to do it might be, I forget where, a place to rewatch the cutscenes are. We'll just really quickly... It'll be Celestia in the cutscene, but that's fine. Forgot about the queue. Guess I could have whatever. This is fine. We'll get there. But yeah. Does seem like we're starting to conclude 2.3. We vanquished all the primals. Yep. It's always a struggle. Yeah, the tone is definitely a little bit lighter. Transmog do I want to use? Definitely. Sorry. Okay. 7th Astral Era. What was this? This was. You don't happen to remember what the last thing you saw was, do you? Okay, let me see which one this one. Okay, I think this was the right one. There's so many cutscenes.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
I really like the Black Mage outfit I have right now. I'm very happy with that.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our
Fancy
Order's
orange.
headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
Okay.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior.
Recap time.
Let us begin at what
Animation is
some
so
might
good
call the
compared to
end.
everything else that came before.
When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls.
The Aetherial Sea.
Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape.
You're right, he does.
Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Yeah. I love when things are...
Which brings us
there's
on
a
to the
reason
third
for why
group,
things happen.
the so-called immortals.
And it's
They
explained.
exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
And I like the visuals for this.
A soul that
Does a good job
dissipateth not upon the death
recapping.
of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the Aetherial Sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
Poor Thancred.
I am
I
sorry,
think
my
we've
friend.
forgiven you at this point.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan.
That's fair.
If we could
That is a
entrap
lot
the
of
spirits of defeated
abstraction.
Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection,
Why is Shishtola so cool? That was so cool. Just snatched the Ascian soul.
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive,
Stola's
my lady.
Boss.
Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will
We're
depart
going
at
Ascian
once to
hunting.
convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
We might have a shot at actually
I have
finishing
the
them off.
utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
We're students about Ascian.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
And a bonus prologue came right after that. Or, not prologue. Epilogue. That's the right one. The Lord of Levin is returned to the ether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramu's acquiescence was most intriguing. No, I think he is a member of the group, but he's more of like a scholar, and I think he works pretty closely with the students of Aldessian and just Charlian in general. But yeah, because they're technically a secret organization, so Menphilia is the head and does kind of have authority in the group, but she's also actually fairly young compared to a lot of them, because most of the Scions are Archons, which is a title from Charlian, and they were part of the Circle of Knowing, and it's like Order of the 12 or something like that, that Alphino's grandfather was head of. So she kind of picked up that work to try to continue like his legacy after he sacrificed himself to finish Bahamut. Yeah, so she's a little inexperienced, and yeah, she doesn't official, because it is like a shadow organization, she doesn't have like official authority, because they do kind of act on their own, so she does a lot of just like coordinating, is my understanding. But yeah, I mean, you're definitely not far off. But yeah, I think Riage is officially a Scion, along with a lot of the other characters that we see. Nabriel's Ramu's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whirl, and Leven all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man, Heidelit's servant, grows mightier by the day. Elidibus, the white-clad Ascian. This is definitely a meeting place. Yet she prospers at great cost to her mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining. Their souls are grown weak and wane. It's definitely quite an intimidating setting. Yet even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our every effort. La Habrea's back. Oh man. I mean, we knew we didn't kill him, but he's already back. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and their eager hands shall and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. Right? Like, why don't you just hang out in the ethereal shore or whatever it is for a little longer? That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. So are they on the same side now? I thought Elidibus said he didn't like La Habrea. I'm a little confused. Okay. that was pretty much it. So, nothing major, but the explanation of soul stuff I thought was interesting. And yeah, get a hint of what the Ascians are. Zodiac. I know we've heard it at least once. So far. I think they mentioned it at the end of the expansion, but I think that was also spoiled to you at some point. Alright. But yeah, that was like the big ending after defeating Ramu. And now everything's like lighthearted again. Thank you for coming, Leoki. No worries. Yeah, always feel free to ask those questions. I've played so many hours of this game, and yeah, I still mix up a lot of names, to be honest. So yeah, always feel free to ask. And yeah, it's a big world with a lot of characters and a lot of things change. So especially playing it like a couple times a week, because I played pretty much every night a lot, so it got burned into my head pretty well. Yoshi, awkward fern. Yay. Thank you for coming, Leoki. The world shifts and alters as we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Okay. Interested? What's your new endeavor, Alfie? Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th astral era, the leaders of the 3 nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation accorded to the Scions. It is my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning Grand Company, it is yet necessary that I visit the 3 leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members, while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. It is reassuring indeed to know that the Bringer of Light and his discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. We're gonna make more friends! Also, more names to remember. Our first destination will be Limsalominsa. Let's rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. you really sure? Sure there's not another primal we can fight? This is really the guy you want to discern who's gonna make a good ally for a new army. Might just level 47. It's so close. Ah, there you are. I'm ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with Admiral Blohushween. While the Admiral and I are finalizing permissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential members, 'tis of no matter should they already be pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. You needn't range into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you are satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter that we might prepare for the next leg of our journey. Kind of fumbled that a little bit. Alright. Anybody want to join a new army? Looks like first mark is over here. I feel like Ystrel is the main reason I want to make a Makote. She's so cool. Who in the bloody hells do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodden knight in shining plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on that dandy Caravellian's door. Okay, so probably not you. I'll mark it as a maybe. We'll come back in a couple days and check again. Precursor to United Eorzean Grand Company? While I do admire the scope of your ambition, my responsibilities here at Naldik and Vermelis keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be traipsing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. Right. That's 0 for 2. How do I get out of here? Let me out. Let's go up the stairs. Well, if it ain't Leoki, I'd not forget a venturer brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut into Titan's bedchamber. You remember old Reel, don't ye? Formerly of the Company of Heroes? 3 Whistles at Bronze Lake? Aye, it ain't often I drag me arse out to Limsa for a drink, but I'm glad right I did. How fare ye these days? You're looking to put together a new crew? Top tier work. Ha, sounds like a right lark, it does. Alrighty, lad, count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into me grave just yet. Yay, we got somebody. Good old Reel. It's a lot of running. Quick teleport. Save a few steps. Master Alphino's new organization? Yes, I had heard the formation of his trial company was in the offing. It's with regret, however, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limsa must needs receive my full attention. Not looking too good. I feel like one person's pretty solid. I'll take it. Udis. An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity. I must say, your proposal intrigues me. But the Krakens well know that there is a time to act and a time to watch. And I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Okay. Well, we got somebody. Yeah. Tough to get by in these days. Brutal. Alright. Airship landing. Let's see how Alphino did. Dioki, your recruiting went well, I trust? I am curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa. Ah, a member of the legendary company of heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I too was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. Can only hope that my visit with the Elder Seatseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray continue on to Gridania at your own pace. Shall wait your arrival at Nofika's altar. Take me to Gridania. So, I don't know if I've talked much about the patch structure in the expansions. But this is probably a good time to mention it if I haven't. So, the way it works is there's generally 5 major patches, so like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, and then a 6th smaller one that's 0.55. And the way it works is that 0.1 and 0.2 and 0.3 are generally continuations of the main expansion, so they wrap up loose story threads, that type of thing. But then 0.4 and 0.5 are more as prologues to the next expansion. So we're kind of getting to that end, so that's why there's kind of a lot of finality, a lot of storylines being wrapped up. Kind of why we got that, like, little conclusionary speech from Alphino earlier. So kind of as we get into 0.4 and 0.5, it'll be more setting the stage for the next expansion. So doesn't really change much. Like, we still go through the patches. A lot of it's still the same, but I always find the development and kind of just the narrative direction and vision that they have for the game interesting. So I thought I would share that so you know. But yeah, for all the expansions, kind of the 0.1, 0.2, and 0.3. So at the end of the 0.3 patch is generally pretty big because it's kind of the end of that expansion's content. So if you wanted to tell it as like a single story, that's generally where you cut it off and not the 0.5 patch. So yeah, if you notice that moving forward, that the 0.3s are a little more, they have a little more finality to them, a little more kind of conclusionary. That is why. But just wanted to share that in case I hadn't mentioned that and yeah, you don't have that background. My audience with the Elder Seedseer is due to commence momentarily. I would be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates has run dry, let us rendezvous at an airship ticket counter as before. Alright. How many do we think we'll get this time? 4 candidates? I'm gonna be optimistic. I hope we get 2. Sorry about that. Laurentius. Oh, gods. Could it truly be you? By what fickle fortune must the first face I see upon my release be yours? Could it be you don't remember me? It is I, Laurentius, the man whose crimes you exposed? I was a whaler and a regular patron at Buscaron's. Who? Oh, I remember you. Well, of course you do. I was beginning to wonder if Gal had changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. The less of my past, the better, I suppose. What of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, eh? What is your policy on reformed convicts? As matters stand, the wood whalers will have not more to do with me. This may just be the second chance I was looking for. Revenant's toll, you say? Shall leave at once. Shall not regret this. I promise you, I am a changed man. Okay. Baby's changed, hopefully. Alright, 1 for 1. That's a good start. Not even talked to them. Forgot about achievement certificates. Wait, we need to get these. Sorry, I get distracted too easily. Take that. Yay, we got a new mount. Magitech Deathclaw. We have a chocobo head. And a goblin cap. Apparently does not work, so I don't know why I bought it. And a ribbon. The ribbon's kind of cool. We need to use the chocobo head